Final score was 26-6. It was a fairly...
The clock has hit 0, and overtime is here.
The 49ers win it!
Mark Grandy and Sterling Bennett are here for instant reaction.
Stop it. Come on.
We'll take you into the locker room and hear from the players and Kyle Shanahan.
I thought Brock did a good job. He has a chance to win.
And, of course, we want to hear from you, the faithful. Overtime starts now.
What a win! Niners faithful exhale. The final in LA at SoFi. Niners 26, Rams 23 in overtime. And speaking of overtime, welcome into overtime. Maybe now we call this double OT here on 95.7 The Game. I'm Mark Grandy. Sterling Bennett with you as always. Sterling, Niners win 26-23, down almost their entire offense, down their starting quarterback in Brock Purdy, down your top 3 receivers if you include Brandon Ayuk, down your all-pro tight end, and they find a way to win. Final score 26-23. Coming off of what week 4 was, Sterling, against Jacksonville, this felt like an entirely different football team. They're now 3-0 in the NFC West and alone in first in the NFC West at 4-1 overall. Sterling, good evening. What a freaking win by the 49ers.
Grandy! Whatever it takes, baby! Mack Jones, Brock Purdy, he's not going to play. Kendrick Bourne, Jake Tunges, Christian McCaffrey, whatever it takes. Chase Lucas, Upton Stout, 4-1. Woohoo! Who would have thought we'd be here after all the injuries, after everyone that wasn't going to suit up? Faithful, stand up proud, faithful. You walked in to Levi's South, a.k.a. SoFi Stadium. You beat a team that is a Super Bowl favorite this year with your backup quarterback, a run game that still really can't figure things out just yet. Your top 4 receiver threats off the football field, and you took them to overtime. What a masterclass in coaching. There was some luck involved here and there, but you'll take it any means necessary. The San Francisco 49ers are still in first place in the NFC West, and they have swept through 3 division games thus far. The NFC West this year, Seattle take a seat, the Cardinals take a seat, and tonight, baby, on the road, the Rams, for at least 1 week in week 5, you can also take a seat.
What a win. Niners got off to an amazing start. They led immediately. They got the ball to begin the game. They go right down the field. 8 plays, 72 yards to take a 7-0 lead. They scored again the first minute and a half of the second quarter. They led 14-0. They led 20-7 late in the third. The Rams come all the way back. They force overtime. The Niners... before that, they tied it up. The Rams did at 20. Eddie Pinheiro made a 59-yard field goal with about 3 minutes to go in regulation. I was screaming at Kyle Shanahan for kicking the field goal. I thought he should have punted it, but Pinheiro proved me wrong. He made the 59-yard field goal. The Rams then, just before time expires, they kick a field goal, and they force overtime. Then Eddie Pinheiro in overtime made a 41-yard field goal attempt, and the Niners stuffed the Rams on 4th and 1 in overtime, and they win this football game by a final score of 26-23. Sterling, I can't remember a more gutsy Niners win than this one in quite a long time. And there's so many individuals to shout out, so many guys, and we'll get to all of them, and we'll get to your calls, at 888-957-9570. But Sterling, the word that sticks to mind for me, it's gutsy. I mean, gutsy for the Niners. You mentioned it. It's a Super Bowl team in the Rams, Super Bowl caliber team. You're on the road, although I guess it's kind of a home game down at SoFi. You're down all of these players, including your backup quarterback, and Mack Jones was awesome, and you found a way to win. Are you kidding me? The Niners had no business being in this game based on the way everybody talked about it, and yet they found a way to win. I am just absolutely in disbelief the way the Niners played today.
for how demoralized we all were. You lose Nick Bosa 2 weekends ago. You played terrible against Jacksonville. Still could have won that game. And I think like everybody else, I didn't give San Francisco a chance. I said there's no way you walk in to a home that is owned by Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay and Puka Nacua. Right now, probably the best quarterback and wide receiver tandem. And how about the young dudes coming through? Alfred Collins at the goal line. A game-saving fumble forced and a recovery. They didn't do much after that, but hey, that's what matters. Big plays by young players pulling up out there and saying, hey, we don't have our best defensive player outside of Fred Warner? No problem. This is a statement win by the San Francisco 49ers. This is a statement win by Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan that says, hey, we may be depleted. We may not be given a chance to win, but guess what? We are going to fight until the very end. This team has grit. They will fight through adversity, and they will give you everything they have. Mack Jones was out there wanting to throw up on, like in overtime. The dude couldn't even stand up. He's fighting through a PCL injury. He's fighting through a shoulder injury. He's getting rubbed down, massages. Like, he's getting heating pads and everything. Like, whatever it is, man, Mack Jones deserves so much credit for what he fought through tonight. That dude is a dog. I know you're the backup quarterback, and we'll see what happens with that going forward, but my goodness, Mack Jones, you have earned yourself in my heart. You are a lifelong 49er after this game. What a tremendous game by Mack Jones.
Mack Jones was absolutely incredible today. Threw the ball 49 times. 49 times. He was 33 for 49, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, did not turn the ball over a single time. Matt Stafford was like equally as great. I mean, Matthew Stafford, particularly in the second half, what he did with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams was awesome on the Rams side in the second half. The Niners just held on for dear life. The Niners could not get any pass rush on Stafford in the second half and in overtime. They also were, allowing some pressure on Mack Jones in that fourth quarter. It felt like the Rams really controlled the line of scrimmage in the second half. The Niners dominated this game to begin. The Rams dominated the rest of the way, but Sterling, the Niners did just enough early to build up a big enough lead, and they made the big plays when they needed them in the fourth quarter and overtime. Kyren Williams on the doorstep of scoring what was going to be essentially a game-winning touchdown. The rookie Alfred Collins not only punches it out, but also falls on it. And then at the very end of the game, 4th and 1 from the 11-yard line, the Rams well within field goal range to tie the game in overtime. In my mind, they make the right call and go for it, because even if you make the field goal, it's not as if it's an automatic tie. The Niners get the ball back and have a chance to win. I want my team to go for it. I am not upset if I'm a Rams fan that they did, but you hand it off right up the middle. Very predictable. Kyren Williams met by Lenore and Siegel, sent back. No gain. Turnover on downs, and the Niners win. I mean, Sterling, this was a Rams second half. They controlled this game, but the two biggest plays of this second half, Alfred Collins, the strip and the recovery at the goal line, and then Siegel and Lenore, the 4th and 1 stop. Without those two, of course, the Niners lose in regulation. Without those two plays, the Niners lose this game. Without either of them, they lose this game. Amazing, amazing performance by the Niners in those big moments.
Well, just think about it. A handful of plays before that, Siegel gets burnt by Tutu Atwell setting up that play. Like, this is why the Rams are at your own goal line, essentially, at the 11-yard line. Like, this is why. Because you blew coverage, but somehow, and it's through the adversity they fight through and their tenacity, they say, hey, wash it. You can make a play on the next one. Get him back here. It might be tough. Your back's against the wall. But like Johnny Cueto with the Reds in, 2011, do you come out kicking? And look, some guys got hurt in that day, but still, do you come out kicking? Do you come out fighting and scratching and clawing your way and saying, look, no matter how much time's on that clock, no matter how many points we're up by or down by, we are not going to stop. The effort was 200% tonight from the entire team. That defense was gassed. You heard Fred Warner at the overtime coin toss. He did not want to move. He was so tired. He was so sweaty. He was like, hey, dude, I need to drive off, please. I am burnt out. And you have to give it to Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, and just honestly, this Niners team, if they haven't kind of won you over just yet, and look, there'll be plenty of more games they're supposed to lose that they'll win, and there'll be plenty of more games they're supposed to win they're going to lose. But it's games like tonight that make me want to buy into what this team can do this year.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
it was an amazing win. And shout out to Willard, who just stopped by picking up his stuff after the show. What do you want to say real quick?
Let's go!
An amazing win for the Niners. Again, the final 26-23. Sterling, it's the dichotomy from what last week was to what tonight was after a short week. I mean, the Niners were 3-0. Then they put together that performance versus the Jaguars where they commit 4 turnovers. Their starting quarterback commits 3 of them. He then realizes that he's hurt and he can't play this week. And suddenly the vibes from the 3-0 team are just automatically out the window. And you think, oh my God, this season might
it's in the balance.
It's hanging in, it's not over, but there's a very, very realistic path that this gets ugly and it does not get better, and these injuries finally catch up to them, and they're 3-3 by the time week 6 comes around. That was realistic. You go into LA on a short week against the team that's expected to win this division by a lot of people, a team that is, maybe number 2 in the NFC behind the Eagles. Maybe the Lions are up there, but this is a Rams team that is one of the best teams in the NFC. And you're down your starting quarterback. You're down your top 3, top 4 wide receivers. We already know who you're missing on defense in Malik Mustafa and Nick Bosa. And you find a way to win this freaking football game. I know we're not into moral victory, Sterling, but the fact that they even made this a game, I was going to be willing to concede, well, at least that they showed the fight after what last week was, but they did the unthinkable, and they found a way to win this freaking football game. I am just blown away. I cannot recall a game that I just felt as inspired watching Niner football than this one in a really, really long time.
Well, not to expose myself, but I'm sure I wasn't the only fan saying, oh, it's over. Oh, Stafford's ball, it's over. You just felt as if...
Which time?
This game,
4 different times.
Exactly. The whole fourth quarter, it's here's the game-winning touchdown drive. Here's where they put San Francisco away. The Rams made a lot of mistakes tonight. Penalties, blocked field goal kicks, bad kickoffs, especially in overtime. They had a turnover early, turnover late in the game. The Rams did not play good football, a complete 4 or 5 quarters really of football in this one. And I just kept telling myself, when does San Francisco's luck run out? You had guys like Clea Davis get hurt. Yetur Gross-Matos got hurt. D. Winters got hurt and came back.
Yep.
Kendrick Bourne got hurt and came back. Mack Jones was hurt and never really left the football field, minus 1 play early in the third quarter, and just felt like this game is up for grabs, and San Francisco's you feel it kind of slipping from their grasp, and the Rams are ready to take over. And every time the Rams answered, so did San Francisco right back at them.
Absolutely.
And that, to me, is the biggest takeaway of look, it didn't matter what the Rams threw at you. It didn't matter what position you were in. San Francisco kept fighting and fighting and fighting. We've talked plenty about last year's team and what that team lacked. They lacked the grit to fight through games
Toughness.
like this. This team just folds over. Oh, Stafford, have what you want. This team fought till the 4th and 1 in overtime and pulled away with the win. That stuff, I know we're 5 weeks in. It's a long season, but San Francisco is 4-1, 3-0 in the NFC West. They've won the games they're supposed to win, games they need to win. And right now, if it all was said and done, you'd be the number 1 seed in football. That doesn't feel pretty good for a team. When we talked about those first pivotal 5 games, they're 4-1 in those games. An impressive start to San Francisco's season, and just an awesome victory tonight against the Rams.
And they've won the most important games on their schedule, Sterling, because it's not just 4-1. It's a 4-1 that includes 3-0 in the division and 4-0 in the conference. And when you try to figure out if you're going to be able to win the division and get a favorable seed in the playoffs, those are the records that matter. What's your division record and what's your conference record? And the Niners at this point have a perfect division and conference record, and tonight was by far the most impressive win of all. Injuries would not have even mattered. This is the best team the Niners have played, I think, by a pretty safe margin. The Seahawks are so much better than I think a lot of people were giving them credit for week 1. They look like a really, really good football team, so that in my mind is already a really impressive win to do that in Seattle. But what they did in LA versus this Rams team with the injuries It's absolutely incredible. It's one of the most impressive wins of the year across the entire NFL, and maybe it's the most impressive win of the entire NFL season across the NFL, considering what the Niners were facing in this one. We mentioned what Mack Jones did, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, much like he was against the Cardinals, was limping around for the majority of the fourth quarter and overtime, did not turn the ball over. The connection that he has established with Kendrick Bourne from their time in New England, that was on display. Kendrick Bourne, 11 targets, 10 catches, had 1 drop, but 142 yards through the air for Kendrick Bourne. And then it was Christian McCaffrey, who only ran for 57 yards on 22 attempts, so about 2.5 yards per carry, which is still a major concern.
Yeah, that's not good.
He's not good at all, but he caught 8 passes for 82 yards and a touchdown. I mean, Jake Tonjes, it's nothing special with the routes and the catches that he's making, but 7 catches for 41 yards, including a touchdown. Demarcus Robinson got 3 passes for 39 yards, and Kyle Juszczyk got in on the action as well. This was an incredible team effort offensively, and when you consider, Sterling, that the Niners pass catchers, if you just say receivers and tight ends, not running backs, I mean, how many of these guys would see the field if the Niners were fully healthy? I mean, it's none of them, basically. Absolutely none of them, and they were your primary guys. Yeah, maybe just DeMarcus. That's about it. They were your primary guys, and you were good enough to allow Mack Jones to throw for 342 and 2 touchdowns. It's absurd.
And on top of that, why this win was so important outside of the obvious things of beating the Rams on the road in the division, you now have 10 days off to get some guys back. Whether it be Brock Purdy, who knows? It doesn't feel like that's trending in the right direction, but we shall see. I think Mack Jones played good enough tonight to say, hey, Purdy, go get healthy, and we'll see you whenever you're back.
Yeah.
But you get Ricky Pearsall back, hopefully, against the Bucs on the road in 10 days of rest. Juwan Jennings back. And the big one, you get George Kittle back. If you can do this against that opponent in the Rams, what can you do at near full strength where you haven't been up until, quarter 2 of week 1? That's how long it's been for San Francisco. So this is a big win for a lot of reasons, but Mack Jones, man, I sometimes you forget he was a first-round pick, and there's been kind of that stain on his career because of the time with the Patriots and the Jaguars, and he's on that Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield kind of path of failed first-round picks that go to San Francisco or an LA team and kind of revitalize things and go elsewhere and get a big contract. But Mack Jones is a dog. Dude, what he did tonight, if you told Mack Jones, who admitted to himself the Rams are probably the best defense in football, that, hey, you're going to play 4 quarters with an overtime, re-injure your PCL maybe, who knows? He called it cramps on the Amazon broadcast. Who knows what it actually was.
Didn't look like cramps to me, but no. I don't know.
Like, to fight through that and throw for 300 and whatever yards it was and 2 touchdowns and go out there and beat Matthew Stafford on the road, like, we should not be underselling this. And I know we're not, but I don't want to hear any fans, the Rams didn't play a good defense. I don't care. Every team makes mistakes. San Francisco made mistakes against Jacksonville, and it cost them a game.
Yep.
If teams are going to make mistakes, you have to be there to capitalize. And San Francisco, for a large portion of tonight, was capitalizing on the Rams' mistakes, and it led to a win. And this is a really big trend-setting win for San Francisco. Now you have the Buccaneers and the Texans and the Falcons. Those are big opponents coming up next. But you started things off right tonight.
Absolutely. What a freaking win, faithful. 26-23 in overtime is the final, and you're listening to Overtime here on 95.7 The Game. That's Sterling Bennett. I'm Mark Grandy. Out to the phones in just a sec. First, though, I wanted to remind you, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app, and now coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Out to the phones. If you want to weigh in, 888-957-9570. Niners win in overtime. The depleted Niners win in overtime in LA versus the Rams at Levi's South. 26-23, the final. Niners 4-1 in the NFC West, leading the NFC West, 3-0 record in the division. What a freaking win. Mike in St. Helena is up first. Mike, what's up? You're on overtime. What do you got?
Man, great game, and so good to see Kendrick Bourne back in a Niner uniform making catches. And Hey, Mack Jones looks sharp, really sharp. The throws are crisp. He's got range. He's got accuracy. The announcers were talking about how well he processes things. He just needs more time in this offense, and if he can stay healthy, I'm sorry, I'm not going to mention the other quarterback's name. I'm just going to say Mack Jones, to me, should be up there every week as much as he can.
Appreciate the call, Mike. Sterling, this is a celebratory night here on Overtime.
Don't you put that evil on me, Grandy.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at the text line. I'm looking at the callers that we got on hold right now. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I'm telling you, there is a lot of people out there who don't want to see Mack Jones on the sideline again. And I mean, Mack Jones is 3-0 as the starter. This was by far his best performance. I mean, what he did in New Orleans was impressive, but that's one of the worst teams in the NFL. What he did at home versus Arizona was less impressive than that in New Orleans, but he still got a win. And what he's doing on one bum leg, like impressive as hell. And what he did tonight was otherworldly considering all of the circumstances and the defense that he's going up against. I know you and I both have a high opinion of Brock Purdy, but there is no doubting, Sterling, that Mack Jones looks absolutely comfortable in this Kyle Shanahan offense, and I don't think there's a whole lot more that Kyle Shanahan could have possibly expected from not just a backup quarterback, but any quarterback running his system.
Mack Jones is playing football how you expect Brock Purdy to play football.
Yes.
And I don't think that's too crazy to say. And now, obviously, Brock Purdy and Mack Jones are different quarterbacks and different skill sets, but the one thing that Mack is doing that Brock hasn't been doing thus far is playing on time, playing precise, and taking what the defense gives him. I don't know what the Rams are doing playing soft zone coverage the entire game.
I did not get it. It made no sense.
They gave Mack whatever he wanted underneath, and there were some throws that were a little scary, but every throw felt like, here's a free 4 yards. Well, if you do 4 times 3, that's 12. That's a first down. I don't know what the Rams are doing, and I know their secondary isn't very good. They got some thinner guys out there. Maybe you don't want to get beat up deep, but the odds are you get beat up deep by Demarcus Robinson and Kendrick Bourne, who had a great game, or Sky Moore, or Marquez Valdez-Scantling. The odds aren't very high. And you want Brock Purdy to take what Mack Jones did tonight and say, hey, if you're going to give me a free 4 yards every time, I'm going to take it. It leads to long, grueling drives for an opposing defense. But also Mack Jones was precise over the middle. There was some layered throws towards the outside. Yeah. I mean, I know we kind of joke and call him McCorkle because that's his nickname, but I mean, money Mack Jones, baby. I mean, that dude is money through 3 games this season, and there really is no fear of when Mack Jones drops back, where's that ball going? Although the offense does have similarities to a Jimmy Garoppolo-led one, I don't have that Jimmy Garoppolo, oh, no fear of Mack Jones. It's like, oh, that's a precise dot with the first-round pick talent playing quarterback for you that happens to be your backup, and if Brock's going to be out for a month or who knows how long, I have a lot of confidence in Mack Jones right now, and so should Kyle Shanahan, and so should the faithful. I mean, get behind this kid if you can. Like, this dude has been through the ringer in New England and Jacksonville. He looks like found freaking money right now. He was a scrap heap signing during the offseason, and he's saving your season so far.
I mean, he's under contract for not just this year either, Sterling. He's under contract for next year. So, I mean...
Hey, best contract on the team, baby.
The Niners gave their previous best value contract in football. They gave him a gigantic contract, and they just signed the next best bargain contract in football to Mack Jones. It's certainly been that way. He's already given the Niners 3 wins through 5 weeks as the team's backup quarterback. Let's keep it rolling here on the phone lines on Overtime. 888-957-9570. Niners just maybe pulled off the win of the year. Certainly for the Niners, the win of the last 2 years. I mean, last best Niner win better than this one. You got to go back to the NFC Championship game against the Lions. And that's more circumstance than impressive. I mean, it was obviously an amazing win because you had to come from behind big time to beat a really good Lions team, but this felt far more unlikely. Just everything going into this game. Hell of a win, and we want to hear from you guys at 888-957-9570. Dave is in South San Francisco and wants to weigh in. Dave, best game of the year. What did you think?
Most definitely hasn't been that good a game, in my opinion, since Detroit and Green Bay in the playoffs a couple years ago. And also, I know there's lots of callers. I'll make it real quick. I thought Stafford had time to bake some cookies in the pocket. I wish Bosa was back. But that being said, the quarterback, it speaks for itself. Give that guy a bonus or something. But my one thought is when they recovered the ball on the 1 yard line, why they couldn't punch it out and get a first down with like those 2 or 3 like 1 or 2 yard plays. I was a little concerned then that if they didn't end the game that they would not win, but I'm actually pretty shocked and surprised. That's all I got.
Gotcha. Appreciate the call, Dave. Thanks for weighing in. Yeah, so what Dave's talking about there was near the end of regulation. Niners leading by 3 because it came right after the Pinheiro 59-yard field goal, which, by the way, we've kind of like set off to the wayside because so much stuff happened in overtime at the end of regulation. That was his career high, by the way.
Wow.
And if you miss that, you give the Rams an incredibly short field with less than 3 minutes left and a chance for them just to kill the rest of the clock and essentially hit a walk-off field goal. And smart money is on that happening. Anyway, Niners up by 3 after that field goal. Rams just drive right down the Niners' throat as much of the second half was. They get all the way down to the 3-yard line. They have a 1st and goal from the 3 with a minute 13 left. They hand it off to Kyren Williams, as they should, right up the middle. He gets down to the 1. He's looking like he's going to score on this play. Before Kyren can get across the goal line, Alfred Collins comes out of nowhere, punches the ball loose, and recovers it all in one motion. Niners get the ball at the 1. They need a first down to basically ice it. They play it safe because they're at the 1-yard line. The Rams have all 3 timeouts. They go QB sneak. Rams call a timeout, then a run by McCaffrey, timeout, another run by McCaffrey, timeout. They punt the ball back. Got a little bit lucky with a bad holding penalty on the Rams on that punt return. Otherwise, they would have had really good field position. Ultimately, though, the Niners get that stop there on the 4th and 1 stop. But Sterling, the Niners' decision to go ultra-conservative 1st and goal from their own, or 1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line after the Alfred Collins strip and recovery, it more so was safety because being smart because you wanted to avoid the safety and having a field goal be able to beat you. But there is a part of me that says, well, just 1 first down and you win the game outright.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Kyle Shanahan is generally going to be conservative in those moments, and I didn't think it was a terrible decision.
Yeah, I could see some people saying, and I'd probably be in this camp of like, don't give Stafford the ball back. Like, go for the win here. Okay, you give them a timeout, whatever. They're getting the football, and they got it on the 50-yard line anyway, so it wasn't like they didn't have. Because of a penalty. It would have been like a 35. Yeah, thank God for a holding call. Am I right? But also, the refs were not great tonight, but table that for a second. But I would have probably gone for the win, but that's more so because you don't want to give the ball back to what has been the best quarterback in football, probably not named Lamar Jackson this season. I mean, 8 for 2 touchdowns.
You mean Josh Allen?
I mean, those 2 guys are playing for the MVP again. We all know that. But
Lamar's 1 and 3.
Wins and losses aren't always a quarterback's fault. It's not a quarterback stat, Mark, okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
Albeit Mack Jones is 3-0, and I'll hold it over my head whenever I can. But Stafford's been playing like God-tier Matthew Stafford. He's been awesome today. He leads. Yeah. He's like first in every single category. Big-time throw, completion percentage, like everything. He's awesome. And there's that fear of like, kind of Mahomes-esque where it's like, oh, you gave him too much time. Exactly. Oh, God, like one drive, here we go. They put you away, and you sit back and you say, how will they get that bad? But, again, to San Francisco's defense's credit, man, they fight. They fought hard the entire time. The conservative nature of Kyle, although has drawbacks, in this case, it actually kind of paid off for them, or whether you want to say it's luck or whatnot, I don't know. but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, so I'll take it. I will take it 100% of the time. And the Niners were lucky at times tonight. They were also good at times tonight. They had the right combination of being lucky and good in this one. 888-957-9570. Niners win in overtime at SoFi 26-23. They're 4-1. They're 3-0 in the division. They're alone atop the NFC West after a Thursday night football win. Up next is Manny in Union City, who wants to weigh in and talk about Mack Jones. What's up, Manny? You're on overtime. What do you got for us?
Hey, good win, fellas. I'm going to throw this out to you Niner fans, especially you youngins. Google it right now. This is going to be shades of Bob Grease and Earl Morrall, and I'm hoping we have that same ending at the end of the year, fellas, because you know what? Mack Jones is the real deal. And the irony of it is we could have had him and skipped the whole Trey Lance debacle, and God only knows where Purdy would have been if we went down that path. But we are here right now. And I'm glad you guys are pumping up the defense because –
oh, did we lose Manny? Sorry about that, Manny. I would imagine – I didn't know the names that he was referring to there, Sterling, but I imagine that was an example of a starting quarterback getting hurt, losing his job to the backup who came in and performed well, and that backup ultimately went on to win a Super Bowl. Is that where Manny was going?
Yes, Bob Grease got hurt, I believe, in 1972 for the Dolphins.
A little before my
Earl
time.
Came in and saved the season, yeah. I'm only 28, so I'm going to say it's a little before my time as well. But, San Francisco has had so much bad luck with injuries. They've had a lot of bad luck with quarterback injuries. You can go back to Jimmy G and Trey Lance and everything. And Brock Purdy won his job because of an injury. And it's gone pretty great up until now. And obviously you want Brock to get back healthy because you do believe he can be a better quarterback than Mack Jones has been. But I'll tell you what, man, I don't blame anybody for saying Mack Jones, play as long as you need to. Like, Brock, go get healthy and hopefully you can get back soon. But the way Mack's playing, not to say it's a quarterback controversy, but if you're 3-0 and let's say you play well against the Bucs and the Falcons and the Texans, or however long Purdy's out, it's going to be a hard time ripping Mack Jones off the football field for that team and that defense too.
Yeah. By the way, Kyle Shanahan, speaking post-game, asked about Brock Purdy, said, quote, "He re-aggravated it, being his toe. He's week to week. Don't know how it will heal." That doesn't sound particularly encouraging for Brock Purdy's status going forward, which is a problem in and of itself, but it is good news that the Niners have Mack Jones. The question then becomes, well, how's Mack Jones' knee and his entire body? Because the dude couldn't even stand up at the end of the game. I think part of, honestly, the Rams going for it on 4th and 1 at the very end there, they ultimately didn't get it because it was Lenore and Siegel who stuffed Kyren Williams on that 4th and 1. It's kind of an interesting decision because you kick the field goal there. There's still like 3.5 minutes left. The Niners have plenty of time to go down and kick a field goal and win the game. Because at that point, any score wins the game. It would be one thing if the field goal was at the last second, like the Packers field goal on Sunday Night Football the week prior was a last-second walk-off tying field goal. But this wasn't that. But because of what you saw Mack Jones was going through, Sterling, I might have been tempted, if I'm Sean McVay, to not take the chance on 4th down, knowing that if you don't get it, the game's over. You kick the chip shot field goal, tie the game, trust that Mack Jones can't do anything out there on offense, get the ball back, and then kick another field goal and win. But Sean McVay decides to go for it on 4th and 1, which, again, I can't really be frustrated by. If I'm a Rams fan, you believe in your guys to get 1 yard. Maybe you do something other than Kyren Williams right up the middle, because that's what the Niners are selling out for on that kind of play. But it is interesting because I don't know if Mack Jones was going to be able to do anything else on offense in this game if the Niners somehow got the ball back in this one.
Well, McVay called the 4th and 1 run to Kyren a bad call in his post-game press conference. He does have some remorse, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. If it works, you're a hero. What a great call. You know,
exactly.
It's the old Dan Campbell go for it on 4th down every single time method of like, hey, if you get it, you're a hero, but if you don't, you're not. I don't know if Mack Jones can walk right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mack Jones can even breathe right now. He was hit in the head so many times. He was body slammed. Some roughing the passer calls were not called in this game that should have been for Mack Jones. But that dude went through a WWE Extreme Rules match against the Rams tonight, and he ended up winning the game. That dude was put through tables, ladders, and chairs and won. And I don't know how he feels. I'm sure he feels like a rock'em sock'em robot or a punching bag of like, dude, just get me on ice as fast as you can. But I'll tell you what, Mark, I can almost guarantee you ask any one of those players, will you go through the bumps, the bruises, the injured PCLs to get a win in the NFL? And they'll say, heck freaking yeah.
Absolutely. After the second touchdown he threw, the one to McCaffrey that put the Niners up 14-0, did you catch, I don't know I don't remember which defensive lineman it was, but after the play, he was kind of like blindly he and a defensive lineman kind of just accidentally bumped into each other. There was nothing malicious or no intent behind that, but they kind of bumped into each other after the play. And after Mack kind of gathers himself, he stares down the D lineman and does like the little shoulder shrug and then flexes on him a little bit and gives him a little wink. And Mack, I did not know this about Mack until he became a Niner and until we started learning about him as it looked like he was going to play in New Orleans. The dude has a personality. And what you're talking about, Sterling, I think the team already liked him, but now seeing what he's doing, celebrating these touchdowns, and just the torture that he's putting his body through to win these games, there's no doubt that he has won over absolutely everybody in that locker room, I'm sure including Brock Purdy. This is not an issue a thing where Brock Purdy is in the back kind of hating that Mack Jones is having success. No, absolutely not. Mack Jones has won over every single person in that Niners locker room.
I don't know what it is about Niner backup quarterbacks having the utmost, whitest young person swag in the world of, you talk like a nerd, you walk like a nerd, but somehow when the football game starts, you're out there DX crotch chopping dudes you wish you had this. It's dude, what's going on, man? Mack's got swag. He's out there flexing on Byron Young, who I think has 5 sacks this year, leads the NFL, whatever it is.
And hit him a handful of times tonight.
Yeah, definitely got him back later in the game for doing that. Yeah. But, I will say this, for Mack Jones being not as mobile as he is, as hurt as he is right now, however hurt that may be, the Snyder's team, the organization, they get behind dudes like Mack Jones all the time. You could think what you want of Jimmy Garoppolo, and I know Jimmy G and Mack Jones aren't the same guy, but they like their quarterbacks that have a little bit of limitations, but have enough grit and swag behind them to kind of give themselves a little extra motivation to win football games. And if you're selling something, this Niner team is buying because they're all in on Mack Jones right now. I can just think about what the locker room looks like out there at SoFi. I hope the Rams can hear them through the other side of the wall celebrating in their own place, because that must feel sweet go out there at SoFi and take them down. What
I would do to be a fly on the wall in the locker room and on the plane ride back to San Francisco or back to San Jose, man, that would be amazing. And you talked about Mack's lack of mobility. This, I think, probably has more to do with Kyle Shanahan and what was an elite game plan, especially early. Yeah. Mack was only sacked once. Nice. And this is the best pass rush in the NFL. And they did not get him until the very end of overtime. They didn't get him at all in overtime. The only sack was right before the Niners kicked that field goal in overtime to take the lead 26-23, which was ultimately the final score of this game as the Niners win. I mean, it was Mack being smart and being deliberate and being quick and getting rid of the ball, but it was also Kyle Shanahan just dialing up quick, developing routes time and time again. And we can quibble with a decision here or there, Sterling. That's always going to be the case over the course of a 60-minute, in this case, more than 60-minute football game. But I thought Kyle Shanahan put together the best game I've seen from him in a really long time. And it feels like Shanahan tends to rise in these regular season back up against the wall moments. And there's been so many of them against this Rams team. Shanahan seems to put together his best game plans when things are really looking bad for the Niners in the regular season and when Sean McVay is on the other sideline. Shanahan, I thought, was awesome today, and Mack Jones did an A+++ job of executing the play calls that Shanahan made today.
Is it wrong to say that this was Kyle Shanahan's best called football game in maybe a year and a half?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And to also say that Kyle Shanahan is probably right now, as of 5 weeks, the head coach of the year?
Oh, that's interesting.
He's never gotten it thus far, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 3 games.
He didn't get it in 2019?
Nope. Hasn't got it once, I don't think.
Wow, that's crazy. My mind immediately goes to Shane Steichen for the Colts. You just immediately go to most surprise.
Hey, but the Colts lost against the Rams last week, so there's that.
And the Niners beat them. I mean, there's no doubt that in terms of, expectations are tough because the Niners had somewhat high expectations. Over-under was what, 10.5, 9.5 coming into this season? So that's going to cloud some things. But if you dive into individual games and what the Niners have gone through, and particularly this game, then yeah, Shanahan deserves a ton of credit for what today was. And I mean, the difference that Robert Saleh is making, Sterling, is just absolutely amazing too. We talked about this, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
Plenty of sign stealing on this game today, Mark. Plenty of sign stealing. It's all over the field today.
That was unnecessarily dramatic. I did
Loved
not. That was a whole weird thing. But what Robert Saleh has done, I think, in just instilling belief into that unit, and is absolutely incredible. They got gashed the whole second half. Like we can keep it a buck. We can be honest. How open was Devontae Adams time and time and time again? And there were some holes.
Upton Stout.
Yeah.
Upton Stout got benched. He was so bad in the second half.
It was rough. And Puka's going to be Puka. It's hard to stop that guy. He was less like big time open. He's just great physical receiver, boxing out defensive backs and making catches. Kyron Williams had some holes in the second half, and Tutu Atwell got behind the defense a couple of times in the second half. Like, they were very good offensively, the Rams were in the second half, but it's the Niners and the ability for them to rise up in the big moments. Credit Alfred Collins for making that play, punching the ball free and falling on it. But if Alfred Collins was a rookie last year and everything talent-wise was the same, he's not making that play, because I think it's the mentality that Robert Saleh has instilled in this defense, which also permeates, I think, to the entire team, but specifically to the defense.
You can see a video of Robert Saleh as soon as San Francisco wins this game, and it's almost every game this year, where it was in Seattle and the big strip sack by Bosa, or it's in New Orleans, similar thing, Bryce Huff. He's the first guy on the field from the sideline. He's out there flexing in guys' faces with his dudes. Like, you saw it in the preseason too, man. He's out there hyping dudes up on slot cornerback blitzes and linebacker blitzes. He feels like one of the guys. And to have a coach with a really young defense that is starting a lot of young players, and now that you lost Kalia Davis and Yetur Gross-Matos in this game, that means you're playing Michael, CJ West, and Alfred Collins almost the entire second half, if not the entire fourth quarter and overtime. You're playing Upton Stout, who got benched, and Marquis Siegel. You're looking at 5-6 rookies on defense that helped you win this football game. And that, to me, when you have a person at the top that says, hey, you may not be ready to be, the elite guy you can hopefully be in the future. You're not who you will become when you're a 5-year pro. But I believe in you. When I call upon you, you're going to make the play. That matters so much for young guys, instilling confidence in young players to say, hey, you may play one snap, but on that one snap, you're going to be a game changer. And that's what's happened so far. Upton Stout against the Cardinals in week, 3? Get the big PBU against Zay Jones tonight. Alfred Collins against the Rams. Rookies, albeit it's a 5-quarter effort tonight from this team. Rookies have made game-changing plays for this team on defense, and having Saleh behind them saying, hey, this is why we drafted you. This is why you're here. We believe in you guys to go out there and do it matters so much to these young dudes.
Yeah, I'm with you. 888-957-9570. It's overtime here on 95.7 The Game. The Niners knock off the Rams 26-23 in overtime down at Levi's South. Niners 4-1 and alone atop the NFC West at that 4-1 mark. Back out to the phones. It's apologies. It's Big Nuts who's calling from Sunnyvale. The Niners had some big nuts today. There's no doubt about that. What do you got for us? You're on overtime.
What's up? What's up, guys? Hey, thanks for taking my call. I know it's a little tough with my name or whatnot, but shout out to everybody listening in the South Bay, especially all the Niner fans, especially my buddy Greg. Me and him were just watching the game, and I hear a lot of Mack Jones glazing going on. I'll be honest. I didn't really like Mack Jones when we got him. I seen how he played with the other teams, and I wasn't really impressed. I'm very grateful for Mack Jones, but I'll tell you what, I'm even more grateful for the coaching that we got. I'm even more grateful for the kicker that we got. I'm even more grateful for the defense that we have. So all praise to Mack Jones, but, let's not go too far and say, Brock Purdy, Mack. No, let's not. Brock Purdy just got the bag. Let's keep it a buck. We're not thinking Mack Jones at all. Like I said, I'm grateful. He's played great. But I think the defense has played a lot better. The coaching makes a huge difference, and we have a kicker now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate the call, and I think there is room for us to be nuanced, Sterling. There's also politics involved here. If we want to talk about the quarterback controversy, if we want to call it that, do you remember when Kyle Shanahan told Tim Kawakami Brock Purdy's rookie year, about Brock Purdy's rookie year. Going into that season, he remembers, Kyle Shanahan told the story to Tim Kawakami later, but Shanahan was talking to Jed York, the owner of the team, and said, Jed, you know what? I think the best quarterback on the team is this third-string rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. But I can't possibly start him because I just used 3 first-round picks to draft Trey Lance, and behind that I have a guy who took us to a Super Bowl in Jimmy Garoppolo. But he already felt at that point that Brock Purdy was the best quarterback. There's politics involved there. I'm just telling you, even if the 49ers get to a point where they feel like it's comparable, Brock versus Mack, you just paid Brock $50+ million a year. The politics suggests he's going to play, and that's not where this is. This is also, they feel that Mack does not bring as much as Brock does, but even if it was at that point, Sterling, then there still would not really be much of a conversation in my mind.
I'll just say this. It's a long season, and a lot can change
It is.
really fast. And to the caller's point, and even to our own points, Shanahan's offensive game plan tonight was awesome. Like the way he moved guys around, the way he got weapons open. And to also the caller's point, Eddie Pinheiro had 14 points tonight.
Sterling, for just a second, can we talk about the field goal in overtime? 41 yards out. That skimmed off the upright and in.
A little doinked in.
I've never seen a doink like that. It was just a little. It was with a kiss off the upright. It was not a doink. It barely skimmed off that and it went in. Oh my God!
That was the football god saying, "We have cursed you for many of years, many of years. You can have this Thursday nighter in Los Angeles, which I think Niner fans will take 100% of the time." But I'm not gonna lie. The more times you trot out the kicker, I feel like every time he goes out there, the higher the odds he'll miss one. And I think if he had to make the next one, it probably would have missed. So I'm just hoping that they got away with that. But Eddie Pinheiro, I don't think, has missed a single kick. Missed one PAT, but has not missed a single field goal. He won them the game against the Cardinals. Yep. He really won them the game tonight amongst many other factors in tonight's win. He's awesome. Like, he has been... Thank God they cut Jake Moody. Thank God they realized their mistake because Pinheiro was waiting for him, and he's been a godsend for them so far this year.
Yeah, so Pinheiro 4 for 4 on field goals today, 2 for 2 on extra points. So let me take a look at his season stats. That means he's now 11 for 11 on field goals and 6 for 7 on extra points. And the first extra point that he missed, what was the first one? It was his first attempt. So since his miss... He is a perfect 6 for 6 on PATs and 11 for 11 on field goals. One thing that jumped out to me just reading those numbers off is the Niners need to score more touchdowns and settle for fewer field goals.
Be really nice.
It would be really nice. They settled for 4 field goals today after they scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives. Looked like they could not be stopped. They did not score another touchdown after that, but they did not need the touchdowns to win this game. They ultimately win 26-23. Okay. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, more time for your calls. I see a Nick. I see a Paul. I see a Caleb. We will get to you on the other side. It's overtime here on 95.7 The Game. That's Sterling Bennett. I'm Mark Randy, back with more after a thrilling Niner win in OT, 26-23 over the Rams. Overtime continues next, right here on 95.7 The Game.
On Saturday, October 4th, Pier 39 is throwing a party on the waterfront. Enjoy drinks to go and activities for the whole family. From live music to special deals, it's all here at Pier 39. Learn more at pier39.com/entertainment zone.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-515-4402. 800-515-4402. Again, that's 800-515-4402.
This is Larry Flick, owner of The Floor Store. Our fall sale is on now, and it's big. Up to 50% off store-wide, 0% financing for 2 years, and we pay your sales tax. Go to floorstores.com for directions. The Floor Store, your Bay Area flooring authority.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
On the ground, does he make it? It doesn't look like it. Now the ball is out. When did it come out? The 49ers think they have stopped him short. They're already on the field. They're already celebrating. And that could be Marquise Siegel, the rookie, who's involved in that one. And Stafford can only come to the sideline and go, I can't believe it. What an ending.
What a job by so many different individuals led by Kyle Shanahan.
Now back to overtime. Instant reaction to the game with Mark Grandy and Sterling Bennett. We are the Bay Area's football station. 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, we are, and we're reacting to one hell of a Niner win, 26-23 down at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It is Levi's South. Niner fans showed up in droves, and I'm sure they're having themselves a good night down there in L.A. as well. Final score 26-23. That call you heard, it was Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, courtesy of Amazon Prime. If you're in the Bay Area, you can watch it on your local Fox affiliate. But Amazon Prime with the call there on Thursday Night Football. That was the final play of the game. 4th and 1, Kyron Williams, 1-yard run, or on 4th and 1 up the middle, but met by Marquise Siegel and Diamador Lenore for the turnover on downs. That also won the Niner to the game. Sterling, there's so many plays, single moments to point out. That play obviously won the Niners the game. There was, as we were just talking about, the 41-yard field goal in overtime by Pinheiro that skimmed off the left upright and then went in. There was the Alfred Collins forced fumble on Kyron at the goal line in regulation that helped them win the game. There was the Eddie Pinheiro 59-yard field goal to give the Niners the lead in the final 3 minutes of regulation. There's so many moments to choose from, and those were the big ones, but there's so many other small ones that led to those. A really, really great connection with Kendrick Bourne to convert a 3rd and short on that last drive of regulation. There was the 3rd and 5 from the 34, a Christian McCaffrey quick out route to the left side for 16 yards and the first down. Felt like if they don't get that, they punt it away. The Rams win the game by just killing the clock and kicking a field goal. So many individual moments, Sterling, where you say, if they do not convert on this single play, they probably lose. They found a way to convert on all of those, and as a result, and only because of that, they won this football game.
Well, just a high level of operating the offense, and obviously the defense did their part for the, like holding in Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua-led offense. to under 24 points is pretty hard to do. And
in overtime.
San Francisco did that in essentially 5 quarters of play. And I thought they played lights out. They ran the football enough in the first quarter to milk that entire quarter essentially.
Yeah.
And they couldn't run it almost the entire game after that, which was okay, you shortened the game. But I have a crazy stat for you, Mark.
Oh, give it to me.
San Francisco, since 2017, Kyle Shanahan's first season as head coach in San Francisco.
Okay.
They won 11 games since then against the Rams. They're 11-7, I believe. Okay?
Okay.
This is the first time they have won a game against the Rams without rushing for 100 yards.
Wow.
Whatever it takes.
And they
Mack
rushed
Jones,
for
50 dropbacks.
74 yards on 33 attempts, 2.2 per carry. Their longest rush was 8 yards.
They walked in averaging 127 yards, 4.23 yards per carry, and 1.4 rushing touchdowns in their 10 wins before tonight. They had no rushing touchdowns, under 4.3 yards per carry, and under 100 yards.
They still don't have a rushing touchdown this season, Sterling. This season. We're 5 games in.
I thought CMC was going to get there, and they passed it to him anyways, and I was like, no, just mentally let him get over the hurdle. Well, they have to do this.
I thought they were going to give it to him on I think it was 2nd and goal. Maybe it was 3rd and goal. No, it was the 2nd and goal. They handed it off to Juszczyk, and Juszczyk lost the yard.
Yeah.
And then on 3rd and goal from the 2, they dropped back to pass, and that's when Mack Jones got his knee initially kind of banged up again. And you referenced maybe some bad refereeing in this game. That one should have been a roughing the passer. Was that Verse? Who was that?
I think that was Byron Young.
You're right. It was Young. You're right. Young, who landed on Mack with his full body weight, and that generally is a roughing the passer penalty.
Hey, it's Bill Cernovich, man. That guy, he's burned San Francisco so many times. And to the Rams' point of view, too, there was a couple of face masks on Matthew Stafford that weren't called, but it's funny, San Francisco wins this game in overtime. They had 8 penalties to the Rams' 5. They were worse in the red zone than the Rams were. They were 2 for 5. The Rams were 3 for 5.
Yeah.
They were outrushed 4.9 yards per carry to 2.2 yards per carry. They were outgained by nearly 50 yards, and they still won. They ran 83 plays in this game.
Man.
What is going on? Every drive felt like it took forever.
Well,
there was a 3rd down every chance there could be one.
So, okay, the Niners ran 83 plays. The Rams ran 64 plays, yet the Rams outgained the Niners by 49 yards. The average yards per play, Niners 4.9, Rams 7.1, and the Niners
Dink
won,
and dunk,
Sterling.
Baby. Dink and dunk till you can't.
They won. It makes no sense. Some of the numbers in this game make no sense, but hey, the only one that matters is the score, and the Niners came out on top there, 26-23. Let's go back out to the phone lines, 888-957-9570. Nick in Berkeley's been patient and wants to weigh in. What's up, Nick? You're on overtime.
First, I'd like to request a call in from Jan Dibley. He's now 16-4. He was tooting his horn and dogging my Niners out. And I really felt insulted. And I felt like the team coming to this game, all the naysayers all week, they were probably just sick of hearing, we'll do hurt this, that. Dude, they're grown men. And the Rams took them a little bit lightly. And they tried to run it up our gut, and we smashed them and jarred the ball loose. And I told some other cats on the airwaves that, man, don't underestimate my Niners defense. Especially because Saleh back and watching, the coach of the Rams, he ain't seen Saleh in a minute. So, guess what? He's having fits. You know what I mean? And those cheap shots they was putting on my boy, man, Mack is tough as nails, man. That man chews up nails and spits out bullets. He's firing the ball around on one and a half legs. And when he was down and out, man, it looked like he got shot. I was like, dude, I hope he didn't tear his ACL. But I guess he just it was tender and he shook it off. You know what I mean? Probably sprayed him up with some freeze spray or something. But I was like, man, what a game by the defense, man. To come up on the goal line, a la Cincinnati, a la Denver Broncos, Ernest Biner trying to cross the goal line. I mean, it was insane, man. I was like, what a defensive stand, man. And what a long tenuous game. It was like some weird flashback to Candlestick Park where the Giants are playing on a late night, but it was actually a football game. It just seemed everything was super slow, man. But I was pumped up. I'm loving it. Everybody was dogging my Niners out, or our Niners out. And man, the Niners kept – that was a huge win right there. That was a very huge win, man. I love it, man.
Absolutely, Nick. Appreciate the call. Always love hearing from you here on Overtime. I mean, Nick, I shout out to you for staying confident and believing in the Niners. I don't think there were a lot of Niner fans out there Sterling, that felt like the Niners could realistically win this football game, honestly. And that's not like a knock on the Niners. You're down. I mean, okay, let me just read off all of the names that the Niners were missing today, Sterling. Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Malik Mustafa, Jacob Cowing, Jordan Watkins. You lose Yetur Gross-Matos in this game. You lose Kalia Davis in this game. D. Winters left for a bit before coming back. I mean, you're legitimately down if you consider 22 starters, offense and defense. You're legitimately down at some point in this game, Sterling, like 10 starters, like half of your expected starters at the beginning of the year not playing in this game at a certain point. That's incredible.
And you didn't even mention Ben Barch.
True, I didn't mention Ben Barch. In my mind, I guess he's not really a starter. So
I mean, maybe he shouldn't be, but I think like you were completely right in not picking San Francisco to win this game.
Yeah.
Short week, you're banged up, you don't have half your starting offense, it feels like you're down to almost your seventh wide receiver. Malik Turner is getting reps in this game. He should never get reps in any game in the NFL.
He got targets. He was targeted once in this game.
And it's like, I don't blame you. I didn't pick San Francisco to win, but I'll tell you this. One of the biggest reasons San Francisco got this win, and it's going to go overlooked because how Mack Jones played and the Shanahan's offense and the defense, the pass protection was phenomenal tonight. Against Jared Verse, who is a game-wrecking Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, TJ Watt level threat on the defense.
Their whole
against
D-line.
Byron Young.
Yeah.
Like their front five.
Puna
their
Ford
front
and
four,
Fisk on the
they're
inside.
Incredible. Yep. Jake Brendel held up for the most part. Trent was incredible tonight. McKivitz got beat once, essentially all night, and it was a pretty bad one. It's the one that got Jones hurt, but this pass protection was tremendous. Albeit the ball was out quick, that's how you negate a really good pass rush. And the Rams have an incredible pass rush. I want to give San Francisco's offensive line, they were terrible against Jacksonville. Like, they were atrocious. They were getting beat up all over the place. Purdy was getting pulled down, run around, everything. Mack Jones, who also got banged up some, wasn't because the offensive line was bad. There was a selectively few hits. There was one sack allowed. I thought the offensive line was tremendous tonight. Now, it needs to continue to be that way, but in a game like this, short week, you're banged up, you have to give Mack Jones time to throw. You can't run the football. Your entire offense is pass, 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 and to give him time to throw, that was a major point of victory for San Francisco that you cannot overlook in this one.
Yeah, let's go back out to the phone lines, 888-957-9570. It's overtime here on 95.7 The Game. Sterling and I got you for another little more than 15 minutes or so, and then we'll get on out of here. So if you want to weigh in, give us a call now, 888-957-9570. Paul has been patient. He's been hanging out in Tracy. Paul, what's up? You're on overtime.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what do you got, Paul?
I've been calling the morning show for past 2 weeks. I keep saying this. Matt Jones is the future in San Francisco, not Brock Purdy. Purdy is too small, weaker arm, injury prone. We already let Sam Darnold go. We can't do this again with Matt Jones. I know Purdy got paid and whatnot, but remember what Bill Walsh did with Steve Young and Joe Montana when he thought Steve Young was ready. My last point is, right now, if you try to trade Brock Purdy, do you think any team in this league will give you a first round for him? I don't think so. And if your franchise quarterback can't get you a first round pick, he's not a franchise quarterback. What do you guys think?
Appreciate the call, Paul. Sterling, what do you think? What do you think Brock Purdy would fetch the Niners on the trade market?
Can I pivot and say, don't do drugs, kids? like, Yeah, no one's giving you a first-round pick for a quarterback that's making $53 million over average the next 4 to 5 seasons. Are teams giving up a first-round draft pick for 95% of quarterbacks in football? Probably not. Probably not. Like, there'd be some teams that wouldn't even do it for one of the elite guys. Like, Joe Burrow's always hurt. First-round pick, some teams, they balk at that. And would I do that? I don't know. But it's like, here's what Mack Jones said tonight. This is on Brock Purdy from McCorkle's mouth himself.
This was tonight.
Tonight,
okay.
Post-game, after the win, Mack Jones, 3-0, gutsy game. He's won 3 of San Francisco's 4 games as a starter. His exact words were, and I quote here, "They brought me here to play as a backup. That's my job. Brock is the starter of this team right now, dealing with something to go out last week, not at full health. He cares about this team. I'm trying to get wins for him." You can think about all you want of, oh, Mack Jones looks great. And Mack Jones does look tremendous in this offense. There is a world that is an alternate universe where it's not Trey Lance and it is Mack Jones, and we're having a whole different conversation. And that world's probably a better one, to be honest with you. But right now, and for the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it may be, Brock Purdy's the guy. I get it. Live in the moment. Be happy. I'm happy. This game was awesome. This is one of the greatest Thursday night football games ever. Don't turn 3 wins where you see Brock Purdy win 13 games in a season and say, oh, Brock ain't the guy.
Sterling,
yes.
Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. If this was last year, or if this year the Niners' backup quarterback was either Josh Dobbs or Brandon Allen, the Niners would be 1-4. They would be 1-4. Well, yeah. I mean, Brock still would have won week 1, right?
First game. Sure.
Backup quarterback didn't play week 1. But since then, it's been either Brock Purdy playing and losing or the backup quarterback winning a tight game.
Yep.
And the difference between Brandon Allen or Josh Dobbs and Mack Jones is wide enough to make all those wins losses. Like, so we can get up in arms about, I want Mack to play, I want Brock to play. Whenever Brock's healthy, Brock's playing. Frankly, whatever. It's a great problem to have if you think you can win football games with 2 different guys on your roster. It's not a Jim Harbaugh, we're going to go with Alex and we're going to go with Colin. Like, this is not that. But if one guy is hurt and can't go, and by the way, a caller talking about Brock Purdy being injury prone, Mack hasn't exactly been healthy at all this year either. Like,
he just has to play because no one likes Adrian Martinez.
Exactly. Everyone is terrified of what that might look like, and I don't blame you. Love you, Adrian, but I mean, there's a reason why you haven't played a snap in the NFL in your career. So I choose to look at this, Sterling, as thank God the Niners have a competent backup quarterback, because if not, this season would already be over just about.
Yeah, we are discussing Mack Jones in the territory of the best backup quarterback in football, which I don't think anybody thought that they knew he'd be one of the better ones.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
Like, you thought, okay, a lot of teams are going through young quarterbacks, they're the veteran starter, but Mack Jones right now may not just be a top, let's say, 50 quarterback, top 30 quarterback. He may be a top 20 quarterback in football right now.
He's better than some starters.
Like, you can't tell me the Bengals wouldn't say, you want T. Higgins? We really need a quarterback right now.
You want Trey Hendrickson?
There you go, Mark, right there. Now, I wouldn't do that because of how the season's gone.
Exactly.
But there's going to be a serious conversation if Brock Purdy comes back healthy and plays well. You going to dangle that Mack Jones carrot at some point and say, do you want him? Come get him, because he's playing that good. And, this really shouldn't surprise many, because Mack Jones was a really good quarterback at Bama. Like, really good. Now, he had great weapons and a great offensive line and everything, but then he goes to the Patriots, and they're a disaster. Belichick gets fired, goes to Jacksonville and whatnot. Like, he's playing in a perfect system for him, where there's a quote from him via Albert Breer, Sports Illustrated, where Mack Jones says, "For the first time in my career, the coaching staff told me exactly what was going to happen, and it happened. I can just trust what they're going to call and execute it the way they call it." Like, you are seeing Mack Jones and his job be made so easy because of Kyle and Clay Kubiak. Like, this coaching staff has done a tremendous job this year in saving their season so far, and Mack's been a big part of that as well.
Absolutely. Let's go back out to the phone lines here on Overtime. We got 10 more minutes with you, so So yeah, we'll get to as many of you on hold as we can. Up next is Caleb in Newark. Caleb, what's up? You're on Overtime with Grandy and Sterling. What's up?
Brad, what's up, fellas? How y'all feeling, man?
We're feeling awesome. What about you, Caleb?
Well, this is insane. And look, you know what? Look, I'm happy because I got friends who are Niner fans. I'm a Raider fan, Colin. Obviously, our season hasn't gone great, but how do they keep doing this, man? This is just hey. People keep talking about the Chiefs voodoo and stuff, bro. This is crazy, man. I mean, Robert. I keep saying it. This is like the third time I've called into recently about Robert Saleh, man. I felt he was the biggest addition again to this team in the offseason. Getting a guy who's been there, he knows the team, the front office, obviously him and Shanahan's relationship, and a lot of the young guys he has on that defense, and the way those guys are playing, and just overall, man, we got to give Shanahan credit in this system. It's like they lose guys. I mean, it feels like with the Niners, they can have 20 guys on the injury report, and then they have guys who come in and just do the job because of how they do things down there. So, hey, respect to the Niners. They're getting it done. Their defense is making plays at the end. And but man, let's calm down on this Mack Jones over Brock Purdy. It's been a few games, guys. I get it. I get it. But I already got my friends on Twitter saying Mack Jones is the next Joe Montana. Let's calm down.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
Appreciate. We had a caller just a second ago who compared Mack Jones to Steve Young. So we're getting both comparisons. Although to be fair, in that comparison, that meant that Brock Purdy was Joe Montana, and Joe Montana, most people would think is the better quarterback, although we're talking about a couple of Hall of Famers, so maybe not the best analogy in the first place. Up next is that guy in the city. He wants to talk about Mack Jones and what he just did down in L.A. What's up, that guy?
Hey, fellas, what is going on tonight? I got some real stuff about the game, but let me give you this real fast. Mack Jones back in. Coaches didn't want him. Now he's hot. They all loan him. 925-415-650. Hit Mack Jones on the low because his career's about to blow. You know who he is. But listen, guys, I called up.
Nice job, that guy.
Hey, I called up Dibs and Willard today, and I was telling Lucas I couldn't talk to him because I was at work and I had to go. But I told Lucas, I said, look, if you would have told me, and I picked the Niners on my card, by the way, for fun purposes only, right? But I picked them on my card, and I told them if they dink and dunk all night, just like you guys said earlier, they're going to win the game with some run options. And if you said all these guys were off and they were still going to win the game, people would thought we were crazy, right? Because people were calling Willard and complaining about the injuries and this and that. You got to go to war with people you have. Stop complaining. Niners won this game. Mack Jones was a big part of it. The defense was a big part. I mean, the real one is solid. That guy's legit. And I got a new nickname for Mack Jones. He's Mack 10 because that guy's just throwing bullets. And if we could, tell the Niners if they could print up some shirts every time we play the Rams, you know how they got Levi's 501s or 550s?
Yep.
Print up the shirts that say Levi's 424. That's Inglewood's area code. Inglewood. The Niners are always up to no good. And let's do one more thing here. If we can get every time Mack Jones starts and wins, can we get a Bay Area promotion where the next day free Big Macs for everybody? What do you guys think? Hey, you guys have a good night. I love it. Keep going.
Thanks, that guy. Love the energy. Love the energy. I could go for a free Big Mac. There's no doubt about that, Sterling.
I mean, why not, right? Three pieces of bread for every win he has so far as a starter. It all adds up. It all adds up. I will say we need to start having a call instead of Mike Jones. It's Mack Jones.
Who? Who?
It's like when Mike McDaniel said Mike Jones, and no one knew what he was talking about in Miami.
Everyone asking. Everyone in the media was like, "What are you talking about, Mike?"
Oh, so good.
Classic.
So good.
All right, we got time for one more call before we get on out of here. AJ in Lathrop is the one to close us out. AJ, what a win! What do you got for us?
That was an awesome win, guys. Thank you for taking my call. First of all, Mack Jones is a stud. For any backup quarterback to come in and actually win you 3 games now or 4 games now? while he's starting. Three games. There you go. Yeah. And then the other thing is, this is a technical question for you guys now. Do you think his play calling, and I'm talking about Kyle, it changes a lot more play action, screen passes when Mack Jones is in the center versus Brock? Because, let's be honest, right? Mack Jones, he's got an arm, right? His passes were precise. His target completion was really, really up to the marks. For a QB1, he was really hitting the pockets. Didn't really miss a throw. To be honest with you, and the main thing was he was not really throwing the ball in tight windows. He had a really good connection with KB. So KB's been basically a blessing in disguise. And then also shout out to the special teams for blocking that extra point. I think the little details were really good today from the play calling. But I'm just I don't know what Kyle thinks, because he's got a quarterback who can sling 60 yards, 70 yards down the field. So his play calling is a little bit more aggressive for play actions and just kind of RPOs out there. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Victory Friday is going to be sweet, by the way, guys.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely awesome. That's the best possible kind of victory day is after a Thursday game, because it's already a Friday, which is already the best day of the week, and you get to celebrate a Niner win. I think it's a good question that AJ is asking, Sterling, about play calling. I didn't necessarily notice a ton of difference, say, from Brock week 1 in Seattle to, say, Mack week 2 in New Orleans. I think you saw a big difference today specifically, because at least in New Orleans, you still had Ricky Pearsall and you had Juwan Jennings. You had not all of your offense. Kittle wasn't there. Of course, Ayuk, of course, not there. But you had more of your normal offense available. And what tonight felt like, honestly, was a classic Niner win with Jimmy Garoppolo, because it was just so simple, and it was take the easy stuff. It was Shanahan scheming players open over and over and over, anywhere from 5 to 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. And I think naturally, when you have a guy like Brock who has earned so much trust and has earned the right to push the ball down the field, and clearly at times has been really good at that in his career, I think it's natural for Shanahan to, one, call more plays that allow him to do that, but also it's natural for Brock Purdy, considering what he's accomplished in this league, to trust himself to push the ball down the field. But when you're Mack Jones as the backup and you're Kyle Shanahan designing a scheme and a game plan around your receivers led by Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson and Jake Tonjes, you're going to keep it simple. And so tonight, I felt like the game plan was way, way different. In my mind, though, something that was less to do with Mack Jones and more to do with what the rest of the offense was.
Yeah, definitely felt more in the flat. No one really past 20 yards downfield. There was no deep crossers, really. It felt everything was underneath. And that's where San Francisco lived. A ton of tight end screen passes. It just felt as if the Niners realized if we dial this thing back to a Jimmy Garoppolo, more conservative-ish Niners offense, we have a chance to not force turnovers, not force throws downfield, and play kind of a keep-away game of Matthew Stafford, and it almost didn't work out, but it did. This game really was keep-away. This is what almost any head coach and play caller would do with their backups out there, of hey, we know we can't outgun you, we can't outscore you, we're going to play keep-away and try to win the game that way. So that said, I almost do want to see Kyle dial things back for Brock a little bit.
I agree.
Just to kind of get a little bit more consistency out of him, then ramp things back up as soon as he's healthy and kind of good to go again. Because even Brock said early in the year, I want to get back to what I was in 2022. This was what Brock was in 2022.
Yes.
Then he took shots downfield because he felt good in the offense. So I'm hoping whenever Brock comes back, it feels like there may be an IR stint in there somewhere, the way things are being discussed, but hopefully that isn't the case for him. But I do want to see a little bit more conservative play calling, even when Pearsall and Kittle and Juwan and Demarcus Robinson and Purdy's back out there, just to kind of get the offense grooving, and then all of a sudden you punch it and you're scoring 30 points a game again, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. And I felt that way for a bit about Brock Purdy. He's been in a bit of a turnover rut when he's been out there, and I think a lot of it is being a little too aggressive. And I think you got to dial that back, and especially when you have McCaffrey and Kittle and Pearsall, and maybe later in the year when you've got Ayuk, you have the weapons to let them do a lot of the work and just take what's in front of you, play it a little more simple and smart. And I think that's the way for this Niner offense to work right now, especially if the run game can't get going. You're gonna need to rely on that passing game, and if you can't get the run game going, you use some of the pass game as an extension of your run game, and that's really what tonight was as well. Sterling, we're up against the clock. That's all the time we have tonight. Next time you and I will talk is coming up Sunday, October 12th. Niners enjoying the mini bye now as they fly home to the Bay Area. They will travel to Tampa Bay for Week 6. Again, not this Sunday, obviously, but the following Sunday, October 12th. That game's at 1:25. We've got post-game coverage for you when that game ends, likely around 4:30 or so. It'll be an abbreviated post-game, most likely, because we do have preseason Warriors basketball that will be airing here on 95.7 The Game right after. But Sterling and I will be back for overtime after that game. Sterling, been great to be with you tonight. A hell of a Niner win. I'll enjoy our mini bye week coming up this weekend, but I'll talk to you coming up on October 12th.
Mark, get some rest. I know I will too. And gear up. Niners, Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. Kittle's back. Pearsall's back. Jennings is back. Maybe Brock Purdy's back. We shall see. But you are going to see a nearly fully healthy San Francisco 49ers offense for the first time since week 1. Quarter number 2 against the Seattle Seahawks. Gear up, get ready. Let's go on a run, folks.
Really quick before I say bye, do we know for sure Kittle's back? I know he's eligible to come back, but we don't know if he's going to play for sure.
I think Rappaport from NFL Network said he's on track to play, so fingers crossed that's the case.
Right.
Holding out hope. I don't want to do this again in Week 6. Let's make Week 6 a little easier for us fans and the team itself.
Yeah, fingers crossed for George Kittle coming up 10 days from now on Sunday, October 12th. All right, for Sterling Bennett, I'm Mark Randy. For my guy Ken behind the glass, Steven was here earlier today helping us out. Also, Luke was in here for a minute. Appreciate all you guys for helping out. And thanks to all you guys for tuning in here on Overtime on 95.7 The Game. I'm Mark Randy signing off. We'll talk next time right here on 95.7 The Game.
The Oakland Roots return to the Coliseum Tuesday, October 7th to take on Hartford Athletic. Be part of the movement. Get your tickets now at OaklandRootsSC.com. You can also catch all the action live on ESPN Plus and KTVU Plus. That's OaklandRootsSC.com.
Are high-interest credit cards or personal loans weighing you down?